What's cooking, WWE Nation? This is Ringside Insider, bringing you fresh wrestling heat every day. Smash subscribe and let's jump right in. It's finally happening. After 4 unforgettable years of dominance, after shattering records and redefining what it means to be the face of modern professional wrestling, Roman Reigns has reached a crossroads that could reshape WWE forever. The man who became the longest reigning Universal Champion in history, the centerpiece of every major storyline, has hinted that his time inside the squared circle is nearing its end. Whether you call him the tribal chief, the head of the table, or simply Roman, this moment feels different. For years, he carried WWE through eras of uncertainty, through empty arenas, creative resets, and leadership transitions. But now, for the first time, it feels like he's preparing to let go of that responsibility and close the chapter that defined an entire generation of wrestling. Roman Reigns speaks his truth in a recent interview. Roman didn't give the polished corporate answer fans have come to expect. Instead, he offered something raw, something honest. He said, "I've given everything to this business. My body is telling me it's time to think about what comes next. I have a family, I have other opportunities, and I can't keep doing this forever." Those words landed like a thunderclap across the wrestling world. They weren't cryptic or carefully worded, they were human. Behind the aura of dominance, behind the perfectly timed entrances and championship gold, is a man who's been carrying the weight of the entire company on his back. The endless travel, the physical grind, the pressure of being the face of $1 billion brand, those things take a toll. And for the first time, Roman acknowledged that truth openly, without the shield of the tribal chief persona. The 4-year reign that redefined wrestling. Roman Reigns didn't just dominate WWE, he redefined what dominance looked like. His reign as Universal Champion wasn't just about holding a title, it was about crafting a mythology. Week after week, year after year, WWE revolved around him. Every story, whether it was the Bloodline saga with his cousins, his rivalries with Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins, or the epic battles against legends, was told through his lens. His character became layered, complex, and cinematic. Love him or hate him, you watched because Roman made wrestling feel larger than life again. His aura blurred the line between sport and storytelling. The Bloodline narrative in particular became WWE's most compelling long-term arc in decades, filled with betrayal, loyalty, and power. It wasn't just a wrestling angle, it was television at its best, and Roman stood at its heart, commanding the screen like no one else could. The fallout and the future. But as Roman begins to step away, the question that haunts WWE is simple. What happens now? For years, every storyline, every marketing campaign, and every major show has been built around his presence. He's been the anchor holding everything together. Without him, WWE faces an enormous creative challenge. There's no single star waiting in the wings with the same combination of charisma, credibility, and mainstream appeal. And that's not a knock on the roster. It's a reflection of how completely Roman has occupied the spotlight. WWE's biggest task now is to reimagine itself without its tribal chief. The next few months leading into WrestleMania 41 could be the most pivotal stretch the company has seen in years, not just because of who Roman might face one last time, but because of how WWE prepares to stand without him once that curtain closes. The missed opportunities in the next generation. If there's one criticism that feels fair, It's that WWE could have used Roman's reign to build more stars alongside him. Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, Gunther, LA Knight. These are elite performers capable of carrying the torch. Each one has shown flashes of brilliance, but none have been given the sustained momentum that Roman had. Part of that was by design. WWE wanted Roman to remain the final boss, the unbeatable presence. It worked creatively, but now the company finds itself at a crossroads. The next generation is ready, but they need room to breathe. Cody Rhodes should be the emotional heartbeat of WWE going forward. Seth Rollins, the veteran workhorse who sets the standard, and rising stars like Gunther or LA Knight should represent the company's evolving identity. The key is not to replace Roman, but to learn from his story. The era of one man ruling everything might be ending, but that doesn't mean the magic has to fade. It just means the spotlight can finally widen. The evolution of WWE storytelling. Roman's run exposed both WWE's greatest strength and its biggest flaw. The strength, its ability to tell long-term, emotionally charged stories that capture fans' imaginations. The flaw, its tendency to rely too heavily on one central figure to carry everything. The future of WWE storytelling depends on balance, on rediscovering the competitive unpredictability that once made wrestling so exciting. Fans want to believe that anyone can win on any given night, that titles matter because the competition feels real. WWE has the talent to deliver that. The women's division, led by Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, and Jade Cargill, is already proving that stars can rise through consistent storytelling. If the men's roster follows that same model, focused less on dominance and more on emotional depth, WWE could enter a new golden age. Roman's departure doesn't have to be the end. It could be the catalyst for evolution, a reminder that wrestling is at its best when every performer has a story worth caring about, a legacy that will never fade. When Roman Reigns walks down that ramp at WrestleMania 41, whether it's his final full-time match or the start of a new chapter, one thing is certain: his legacy is untouchable. Few wrestlers in history have carried the company with such consistency, grace, and conviction. He turned adversity into art, transforming fan rejection into one of the greatest heel runs of all time. He became the measuring stick, the example every new superstar will be compared to for years. Roman Reigns didn't just hold championships. He built moments that will live forever in the collective memory of wrestling fans. His exit, whenever it comes, will mark the end of one of WWE's most iconic eras. But endings also create beginnings. And maybe, just maybe, this is the moment WWE finally rediscovers the depth, the hunger, and the creativity that made it the global phenomenon it is today. The tribal chief may leave the island, but his impact will echo across generations.